want to talk today about problems sleeping during the menopause. I'm Andrea, I'm a menopause coach and I work with menopausal women who are having problems with sleep and anxiety and lots of other menopausal symptoms. So I want to go through some common questions that get asked all the time about sleep and talk about some of the things that actually help. So firstly, I think one of the worst symptoms of the menopause is sleep problems because it affects pretty much everything else in your life. If you're not sleeping well, you feel rough, and that affects your relationships and your social life, and it can also affect your weight and your motivation to have a healthy life. So I know firsthand about sleep problems because I had chronic insomnia for several years after becoming perimenopausal. And it was only when I used a program called CBTI that I actually started to sleep again. So if you're having any problems with sleep at all, I know exactly what you're going through. Not being able to sleep or waking up several times during the night is horrible. It's frustrating and it can feel like the loneliest place in the world. Now I want you to know that this is a problem that can be helped, provided it's dealt with in the right way. So what happens during the menopause is that hot sweats start to wake you up in the middle of the night. And this might happen several times during the night, which is pretty unpleasant. If you can get back to sleep, that's great, and usually you can cope the next day. However, in an attempt to recover lost sleep, what can happen is that you start to change your sleep behaviour so that you go to bed a little bit earlier and you might hit the snooze button in the morning and have a little bit of extra sleep. You start spending a lot more time in bed awake, and that itself causes anxiety and frustration. And you also start to link your bed with not being asleep. You might also implement some sleep hygiene practices like not drinking coffee, no screens before bed, taking a bath before bed and using lavender sprays, etc, etc. There are loads of sleep hygiene practices that are really sensible, but they're unlikely to actually help you with your problem. And if you're trying to solve your problem using sleep hygiene measures, then you're probably not going to get the results you're looking for. Sleep hygiene's great and definitely needs to be considered as part of a good sleep routine. But the problem that starts to develop with sleeping is due to the behaviour change around your sleep. So what commonly happens next is you've introduced all the sleep hygiene measures, but they aren't working, and so you start to get a little bit more anxious about sleep. You've heard that you need to have 8 hours sleep or else there'll be health consequences, and so you start to research how to sleep and find out that there are sleep supplements that help people to sleep. So you start taking those too. Now, because you're anxious, your sleep actually starts to get worse and you might not be able to get to sleep at all when you go to bed. And so the vicious cycle begins. Now, until you start to address the behaviour that's developed, you're not going to improve your sleep. So what can you do? Well, the first thing is to deal with the time you're spending in bed. You need to only go to bed when you're feeling really sleepy. And you need to actually reduce the amount of time spent in bed, not increase it. The second thing to do is to set a get up time that you stick to every day, even on weekends and holidays. This is really important, so don't miss this step out. Now, if you're waking up in the night and you can't get back to sleep after 20 minutes, you should get up and go and do something enjoyable until you feel sleepy again. The next step is to stop worrying about sleep, which is easy to say. We all get enough sleep to survive, and we don't all need 8 hours of sleep. If you're finding anxiety is a problem, then start a journal before bed and write in your journal about your worries and anxiety. This simple practice has been proved to help with sleeping problems, so it's definitely something I'd recommend. If you are having problems with sleep, there's a free PDF down below the video, plus a link to my sleep page where you can get more information about how you can start to get sleeping well again. So I'd encourage you to grab that. And let me know in the comments below if you're having problems with sleep. I'd love it too if you could subscribe and like the video too. And thanks for watching.